Hi everyone, my name is Piterpakulski. Today we'll continue building financial model for a Uber, Lyft or taxi business idea. Today we will be creating the timeline. Maybe this video will be useful for you. You may give us a like, subscribe, share this video with your friends. You can also order financial models from scratch for your unique business ideas. We can help you with that. At the end screen of this video I will give you the link to the playlist where I will keep all these tutorials, and when I finish with this financial model I will place all the links on tutorials in the description of this video as well, so you may watch all the tutorials from scratch absolutely free, one by one. So let's quickly run through the model that we already did. So blue cells are the inputs. We have a unique rule through the whole financial model. So first block of input describes different types of trips, their mileage, their duration, their revenue, so we can switch on and off different types of trips from calculations. Later this will be needed for scenario modeling. We have local and global coefficients for mileage, duration and revenues, because later when we will see the cash flow statement we will be able to play with all these coefficients, quickly creating a huge amount of scenarios that we would like to look at to see what will be the performance of the business if this happens, that happens. Then so here we just created the library of different types of trips that may occur. Then we moved to typical week from Monday till Saturday, and here we specify how many trips of different types occur on Monday, on Tuesday. Here we have global coefficient, local coefficient to play with the amount of trips for Monday, Tuesday and so on. And then we consolidated all this data in this table. So here we can see the day of the week, of the typical week. We can switch this, for example, day from calculations. This is the our private mileage that we can make on our own. We're not online, for example, but still our car is driving. So we can switch on and off each day of the week. For example, we don't wanna work on weekend, for example, so we can easily switch weekends, and there will be no mileage, only private mileage when we are offline, and we have no revenues. And now, so here we can build some limitations. We can set up the limit for mileage. We can set up the limit for a time behind the steering wheel. For example, we can say that we will be driving not more than 5 hours a day on Monday. We can see here that we need to decrease the amount of trips. We can, for example, work with set up the mileage limit. For example, we will be driving online not more than, let's say, 100 miles, 400 miles, or for example, let's say 300 miles. So here we can see the daily mileage made by the car. This is the limitation. We can adjust this limitation and see these are control lights that will show us if we have any mistake or not. So we are when we set up the amount of trips, we will be able to see the duration of these trips per day, and we will be able to see the mileage for these trips daily, and we can use this limitation system to see where if we live in the world of realistic numbers or not, because this will affect the revenues. So now what I did, I just pasted a simple table with the amount of Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays in each month. And now we will be creating the revenues per month and mileage per month for our car. So I will copy this table. Typical year, let's say revenues. So what I will do now, I will press equals. Here I have the amount of days, Mondays inside the month, inside January. Then I have revenue per Monday here in this table. I'm freezing this column. Now I'm pressing enter. So this is the revenue for the typical year. So for example, if I want to exclude Saturday and Sunday, I can do that easily here. Now let's do the same for the mileage. So we'll do, I will take the amount of Mondays inside the typical year. Here I can see the mileage per day, and I will take this cell and freeze this column. And here we get the mileage per month inside the typical year. So and now we need to create the timeline. So this is just a typical year, but we need to create the timeline where we will be putting all these values. So what I will do now, I will go here on the top and create years. So this will be the first year of our financial projections. We will have a 10-year horizon. This will be an input, so I will color this with specific blue color which goes with all our inputs. Then here, let me add 2 lines. Here I have the list of months. I will need this list of months when I will be creating the block of inputs where I will be setting up the month and year when we will be starting the operating activity, when the revenue will first appear. This will be needed for that. So first of all, let's create Let's name this new block of input. This will be timeline. Operating activity start, and this will be year, month, so the year, I will just go here, copy inputs. This will be the input, but I will use data validation function. I will choose here the list. Select the range of years. So now I can choose when I would like to start the operating activity. The same story I will do with data validation. I will do for months. So for example, I would like to start operating activity in May 23. This will be the input, so I'm coloring it with specific color, which goes with all our inputs. Now let's create the timeline for our project. So here will be the months. So here we will place months, then the first year of our projections will be 2023. We will pick it from here. I'm doing that this way because I don't want to retype all this data when, for example, our project will displace from 2023 to 2024. So I will take this one plus one and link these cells with January 2024. This one plus one, $25, $26, $27, $28, $29, $30, 32 will be the last one here in our horizon. So this will be for this year. Let's copy these formats. So why we were doing it this way? For example, if we want to display the project to 2024, or let's say just 2025, we can easily do it here, and all the timelines that will be in our project will be renamed automatically, and we won't have to retype, copy paste many times, because the model will be quite big and we'll have to do it many times, and during copying these timelines we can make some mistakes. So that's why it is better to automate this story this way. So what is next? So first of all, let's say operating activity start. We have to put 1 when the operating activity actually starts, so it is May 2023. So I will use if and function. So if this equals to this, and this month equals to this month, we'll put 1, otherwise 0. So we must tell the Excel when to start counting the operating expenses. So here it is. So if we want to displace our project
to, for example, October, we can easily do it, and all the revenues, direct expenses will be recalculated automatically. Now let's do another line. So operating activity start, and this will be like this. So the first formula will be just like this, and we will create a cumulative line. So what does this line means? This line means that we have we'll put 1 if we have an operating activity. We will later link
fixed costs, direct costs, revenues to this line. 0, if we multiply these costs on 0, we will have no cost at April. But in May we start an operating activity, and all our payroll, for example, fixed costs and other costs will be shown since May 2023. So what is next? The next step, we need to count the months of operating activity. This will be 0, 1, 2. We will name it like this. I will do this kind of an exercise. So all formulas are very simple. So here we are counting the months of operating activity since May 2023. So why we need this? So for example, when we start in May, we won't be able to get the maximum. So here is May, and May is here, and we may face that we won't be able to get the maximum revenue, for example, of this value. So all numbers are fictional at this moment. So, and when we start during the first May of operating activity, we will be, for example, we will be earning just, for example, 10% of this value, because it is the first month of operating activity. On June, we will be earning, for example, 30% of this value. Then we will be earning 50% of this value, and we will be reaching target revenue step by step. And to link this percentage, we need to count these months, to count months of operating activity, these months, and link the percentage of reaching the revenues to these numbers. So that's why we need this line. Then we need to have the initial investment stage. Investment stage ends. Let's say initial. So the end of investment stage will be the month prior to the month when we start the operating activity. Here it is. And now we will be counting backwards months of operating activity. Investment stage, reverse. So I will go to the end of the timeline. First of all, let's freeze the first column. Let's write a formula here. If this value equals to 0 and this value equals to 0, then we will put 1, otherwise 0. The next condition, if this value equals to 0 and this one is more than 0, oh, just a second, if this one both zeros, we will put 0. If this one 0, this is more than 0, we'll put 1. Otherwise we will put the previous value plus 1, and then we are closing the brackets. Now I'm extrapolating this formula to the left. So here we are counting the months of operating activity. Later we will link investment stage expenses to these numbers. So what we can do now, for example, we can easily move the operating start, let's say, to November. We can see how we are counting months of operating activities starting from November. Here is the end of the investment stage. We are counting backwards the investment stage. And now we are ready to placing the mileage and revenues inside the timeline. So this will be the topic for our next video. So I hope you enjoyed this video. You may give us a like, subscribe, share this video with your friends. You can also order financial models from scratch for your unique business ideas. We can help you with that. At the end screen of this video, we'll give you the link to the playlist where I will be keeping all these tutorials. And when I finish this financial model, I will give you the link, all the links in the description of this video as well, so you can watch all the tutorials from scratch. So thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe, order financial models from scratch. See you next videos. Thank you and bye.